So I came from quite a poor background, and my mother and father, they were married, but then there was a lot of arguments. It was quite a dark time in my life. Well, my mum decided to leave my dad when I was around 12. We were moving from place to place, so we were living in different places, hostels and rented accommodations, and it was just myself, my mum and my sister. I always felt alone because my mother wasn't there for me. Although she was there physically, she was dealing with her problems, and I didn't have a relationship with my younger sister. And my mum, she was quite depressed, but when things went wrong, it would fall on me as I was the eldest. As I was getting older, I kind of developed lots of bad feelings towards my mum. I didn't have any friends that were on the right track, so most of them were kind of going out and partying and drinking, and I was close to them, so I would just follow what they did. Smoking, and I smoked cannabis, and I just wouldn't want to be home. I'd want to be out. I'd want to be out of the house. I always felt like I needed all the attention. I wanted to be out so that I could have that attention around me. Another thing that happened was that I became into pornography because my boyfriend was into pornography, and it became a habit for me, and that habit grew into an addiction because I would then use it to make me happy. I think probably you could say the worst time of my life, where I started having spiritual attacks and I couldn't sleep. I knew where it was coming from. I knew it was because of the things I was watching. I sensed that because it was as soon as I was getting really deep into the pornography that these attacks happened. So I became really afraid and got a job in a nightclub. You know, I could access alcohol really easily, cannabis really easily, and because I was really very upset about the breakup with my boyfriend, got into sleeping around. There were lots of male attention. It even got to a point where I got into a relationship with a married man. I was completely selfish, and I just wanted to find happiness whichever way it came. So my mum, because of everything she was going through, she wanted to find a good church. And then she saw a banner outside of where the church was for the UCKG. I began to go on a Wednesday, a Friday and a Sunday, because I would hear a lot about the Holy Spirit. I really wanted that. It did take me a while. I think it took me perhaps about a year, and I was doing everything step by step. I stopped drinking, I stopped smoking, and then the purpose of the 21 days came, and I let go of everything that was holding me back, just focused on God. And it was on the last day of the 21 days I received the Holy Spirit. I remember where I was stood. I remember the song I was singing when I received Him. I can only explain it as an explosion of joy. And it was joy that I was missing, and it's gonna make me cry because it was such a fantastic an amazing experience for me. I was at peace. I wouldn't argue back. I wouldn't fight. I wasn't angry. I didn't have that feeling of anger towards my mum anymore. So after that, God just touched every area of my life. I don't have spiritual attacks. I don't feel that emptiness and that loneliness, and I just felt more able to pass on what God had given to me. So yeah, it became a regular part of my life. So my relationship with my mum now is also great. We are able to go out for a coffee. We don't argue. We don't have these disagreements that we used to have. Yeah, we've never been as close as we are now. So I know what a huge, huge blessing it is, and more than a blessing, it's a privilege and an honor. My name is Angela Irons Reed, and I received the Holy Spirit during the 21 days fast of Daniel.